That's pretty funny. Let's see if we can pick out one last fight out of these guys. Oh, baby.
Hey everyone, my name is Grim, and today I'm talking about damage combos in PvP specifically. First, I want to talk a little bit about the difference between damage in PvE and PvP, because it is an important distinction, especially for new players. In PvE, your goal is to get the most amount of damage on what's usually a static target who's not moving over 3 to 4 and possibly more minutes. Now, the difference between that and PvP is that in PvP you're fighting other players. No one's just going to stand in your dots and take your damage. So you have to apply your damage a lot more quickly. In PvE, you can have a wind-up time, you can apply a few dots, you can do a heavy attack for sustain, and rotate through your abilities in a particular order based on the timers. In PvP, it doesn't really work like that. Doing damage is going to be about one of two things. Usually you're either exploiting a mechanic like Defile or some sort of proc that attacks for you, or you're going to be doing a damage combo, which uses your stats and your abilities in a certain order in order to maximize your damage in the shortest period of time possible and kill your enemies before they have a chance to respond or recover. Or a mix of both of those things. A lot of times a gank will be a mixture of a damage combo and a proc that goes off. Your damage combo is going to be your stats funneled through an ability combo and amplified by your CP. When people come to me and tell me, hey, Grim, I'm trying to get better at PvP, but it doesn't feel like I'm doing any damage, one of three things are almost always the issue. Either the player's stats are not very good, and that's usually because they're not using sets that are very good, or sets that are working with their playstyle. Two, their damage combo is not very good, or it's just not very practiced. It might be the right combo, but it's really sloppy and slow, and under pressure, that can get extremely difficult. Or three, their CP's way off, and if you're playing in a CP campaign, the allocation of your CP will make a huge difference in your damage. But let's leave CP for another video, and we're also going to leave stats for a different video. For CP and stats, I do build videos, and I would encourage you to check out any of those if you're looking for more instructions on what sets to use and why I use them. But today we're going to be talking about the combo specifically, and especially as it pertains to Nightblade, but I'm hoping that the information in this video will be helpful regardless of the class you play, because the principles still apply. But I'm going to go ahead and show you my damage combo, and I'm going to show it to you against this poor target dummy who I've already been abusing. And then I'm going to show you some gameplay, and you can kind of see how this plays out in a real open world situation. So this is my damage combo. First, I make sure that my stats are all good to go, and that includes both buffs for myself and debuffs for my enemy. So because I'm wearing Balorgh and Clever Alchemist, both potions and my ultimate are a big part of my big boy damage combo. I'm also using the Master's Bow, and that means that another part of my damage combo ultimately is pre-applying Venom Arrow. Venom Arrow is going to do a little dot, and it's going to increase my damage against them by 300 because I'm using the Master Bow. Next, we have the changes to in-cap. There are two different ways that I can stun an enemy, and stunning them will allow me to pull off my combo on a target who's not moving or dodging or blocking. And the two ways to do this are either to set them off balance and then stun them with a medium attack, which is still extremely effective. And the reason that it's effective is because the stun comes out the same time as an ability. It happens in one global cooldown. So instead of using an ability to stun a player and then using a different ability to hurt them, I get to use a light attack to stun a player and then follow that up immediately with an ability that hurts them. And this gives them less time to respond. It's still possible to respond, but it gives them less time. The other way to stun a player is to use the in-cap stun. In-cap just recently changed from a silence back to a stun, and it's an extremely powerful stun for two reasons. The first reason is the stun is part of a high damage ability, and this is obviously powerful because it's all in one global cooldown. So for the same reason, going from a light attack stun or a medium weave stun into an ability is strong because all of the damage is stacked close together. The same logic applies even more so to incapacitating strike because you're doing damage while you're stunning them, and you actually get a chance to follow up with a second ability. So it allows you to stack two abilities together, and because of the way that the in-cap stun works, where it's unblockable, which I think might be a bug, but I actually really like that change. And sort of the dark side of that is that it's a very awkward, laggy, weird stun that kind of makes your opponents floppy fish around on the ground. Like they lay flat and they can move around, and it's really weird. Because of that, it's very difficult to break free from. You don't really know that you've been stunned, and it's weird, and it just doesn't feel right, and you kind of have a moment of wondering what's happening, and that's the moment when you die, because before you even realize that you should be breaking free, you're getting hit with a 10k relentless, and then you're dead. So that's what happens next. After I in-cap my opponent and put them on the ground, I will fire my relentless at them. Now this takes a bit of build up. If you read the tooltip or you're not familiar with it, I actually have to light attack an enemy 5 times before I can launch this attack. But that's not too hard to do. You get one light attack from Venom Arrow because you're firing off a light attack before every attack. Then you get one light attack from in-cap, one light attack from relentless. So it means that you really only have to apply 1 or 2 other attacks, light attacks, before you can fire this. The ideal one is surprise attack. Surprise attack is your bread and butter spammable. You're going to be using this a lot. It's not going to come as a surprise. No one's going to particularly try to avoid it. But what's important about surprise attack isn't just the damage it does, but it also shreds armor if you hit them from behind. And that reduces their physical resistance by 5% for 10 seconds. 10 seconds is plenty of time to follow up with your full damage combo. Because of that, my damage combo looks something like this. I'll be all buffed up. I'll apply my Venom Arrow. I will flank them, or at least be rotating around them so that I can eventually flank them. people aren't too aware of flanking. It's a pretty weird mechanic and not one that many players take advantage of. And because of that, it's actually surprisingly easy to flank someone. Also, flanking is extremely forgiving. That counts as a flank. And I think it's a 180 degree, so like anywhere behind them or beside them will count. But it's a little bit awkward, and real players do differ from target skeletons in an odd way. So take that as you will. But you can tell when someone is fractured or their armor is broken or debuffed in any way, because their health bar, at least on my UI, will fracture. So you can see there, the health bar has gone from being a solid color to having little cracks in it. And that's happened on both my LUI reticle on the bottom right, and it's happened on the default health bar that's built into the game at the top of the screen. Both of those show cracks, and that indicates that this character's armor is debuffed. So that's a big part of my combo. So Venom Arrow into Fractures, building up my Relentless, but I don't even have to. Right now it's fully up, so I'm totally ready for a full damage combo. I'm going to go into the ultimate, Relentless, and then execute to finish. I will often animation cancel my execute because it makes it come out faster. So the full animation cancel for that is going to be light attack, execute, bar swap, and you can actually see the difference. On my screen above the skeleton, you'll notice the damage numbers. I actually just hit him with two abilities there. I hit him with a light attack and the execute while I was bar swapping. So practicing this on your own has obvious benefits. Practicing it with a target skeleton where there's no pressure, no one's trying to kill you, is going to help you out a lot. And the reason is, of course, when you're in a 1vx situation or you're fighting a player in the real open world, there are a lot of nerves, especially if you're newer to the game. And it can be tough to fire everything off completely correctly, and you're going to make mistakes. I still make mistakes. So practicing alone with a dummy where there's no pressure is going to help you to build up the muscle memory in order to fire off that combo successfully. And when you are able to fire off that combo successfully, you'll notice that people are going to die a lot more often. So that's a damage combo. Let me run through it one more time for you since I do have my ultimate up. Again, this time I'm going to use Alchemist because it's part of my combo. Woohoo. And then if there's anything left, you can just keep executing. And that's the damage combo. Let me walk you through some real life open world situations, and you can see in these clips how I actually use a damage combo, how I mix it up. It doesn't always have to be the exact combo. It's not a PvE rotation, right? There's some flexibility. Sometimes players are going to see your damage combo coming. Sometimes it's extremely telegraphed. And in those situations, you want to make sure that you're throwing them off guard. Throw out a Relentless at random. You don't have to save your Relentless for your full damage combo every time. Sometimes you just got to hit them when you know you have a shot. If they're CC'd or they're stunned for some reason, throw out your Relentless at them. If it's going to hit, it's not a waste. Just make sure that you don't do it right before you're about to take damage, because you're going to lose your resistance that you gain from having fully stacked Relentless up. And with that, let's get into the gameplay. Alright, this fight is short and sweet, but it shows the combo, and it shows it a few times too. Keep in mind I am wearing Celine's here, but you can see I'm just pressuring, poking him, starting to soften him up, and then there's the big burst. Now, the Stam DK comes in, and it's the same thing, but this time, I don't have any ultimate, so I have to build it up a little bit. And I could probably pull something off without an ultimate, but I'm not super willing to try it, and dodging his attacks is pretty easy right now. So I'm comfortable, I'm happy, my healing's high. You can see I'm keeping up my healing before he hits me, so I'm not stressed for resources. I'm just kiting him out, waiting for things to charge up so I can hit him with a mean burst. I'm having a lot of fun with the floppy fish. And you can see that time I finish it off with an execute, because he had a little bit more health than the Sork. The Sork was actually really squishy, so I figure I probably don't need to wait for a full combo again, and I'd like to end the fight before the DK comes back. I don't want to let it go on forever. So, a couple surprise attacks and execute is all it takes. Let's do the opening fight of this video because I think it's a good one and representative of the flexibility that you have in your combo and your ability to mix it up based on circumstances. Sometimes people are squishy and sometimes you don't need the full combo, and this is a video where that ends up being the case. So I'm pulling these guys off to the side of the road because I don't want to fight them on the main road and have their numbers increase dramatically. I want to fight them where they're not going to get any reinforcements. So I run down here and I'm just hoping they'll chase me, and it looks like they are. Hook, line, and sinker. So here we go. This guy's got low health. He's not healing, so he's a target. I go into cloak and I want to hit him, but I end up getting stunned. So that's a no-go. I'm tempted by his low health, but he's in a really exposed spot. So I'm going to try and reposition. Hit the in-cap. In-cap hits the wrong person, but this guy takes some big damage. So I just take him out of the fight, and Destro ult goes down. Get out of that. And here is where Venom Arrow comes into play. I'm going to stop those reses without having to walk into the Destro ult. Kite the border of that damage. He's going to go for the res again, so I'm going to stop that. This guy is just standing in the damage. He thinks he can out-heal me, but the Selene gets him, so no problem there. Now DK number 1 is going for the res. I can tell because of that sword and board ult, but he doesn't seem to realize that Venom Arrow can interrupt right through the sword and board ult, so no problem. Reposition again. I'm kind of low on stam. I go for the heavy attack there, and he's not healing it, so I'm going to do a little roll, dodge, cancel, and execute. Easy kill. Didn't even need the full combo. I have a potion up, so I don't even think I need a full ultimate. I'm going to use an ult with no stun. There it is. Little execute. Done deal. Hey everyone, thanks for watching this video on damage combos. I appreciate you being here and watching to the very end. I've been streaming on Twitch, and so I'm going to link the Twitch down in the description below. Come check me out. You can watch me play live and ask questions as I go. I've been streaming for a couple days now, and it's been a ton of fun, so I'll be doing it a lot more often. I just upgraded my internet so I can finally stream again. I used to in the past, and people asked why I stopped. That's why my internet sucked, and I just didn't have to upload in order to play and stream at the same time. But now that that's been resolved, we're back in it. So if you have any questions and you want to ask them live, you're welcome to do so. But of course, as always, please feel free to ask questions in the comments. I read them all, and I have my notifications turned on for all of them, and I will try and answer your questions as best I can. We also have a Discord. You're welcome to join the Discord. We have a guild for PCNA, and I encourage you to come join us, ask questions, theorycraft, hang out. It's a good time. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one.
Alright, now we push this?
Around here, around here. Where you at here? Oh. Oh my god, you're on him. I crashed! Man!
Okay, time to run then.
Man, what the fuck, bro? Man, Jesus Christ!
Oh, shoot! Shoot! Keep him over there, Grim. You keep them over there. Oh my gosh! Did you get out of that?
I got out of that! Oh, I'm free, baby! I'm out of here! They're gonna have no idea what happened.
They're really confused.
And I killed one too.